Hey besties, let's throw some shade, honey. You ready to get into it? Hey besties, it's been such a long time since I've been on. I missed you. Did you miss me? Last week, I recapped Straw, the Tyler Perry movie on Netflix, and I thought I was getting ready to get off with you guys and go review Basketball Wives. But to my surprise, they did not come on last Monday. And I'm guessing because of the BET Awards. And hey, I went ahead and I watched it. And child, the BET Awards was like 4 or 5 hours long, honey. Child, I had to watch it on Monday and finish it on Tuesday. That's how long it was. But baby, it was actually good. Haven't enjoyed a BET Awards in a while. I only had to fast forward through one person, the young rapper towards the end. Something his name got Cardi in it. I don't know. But honey, they did Icon Awards. And I'm wondering, was it 4 hours long because they have four different icons? Well, let's go back to just, praising one icon a year because who has time to watch a 4 or 5 hour award show? But anyway, we gave props. Well, they gave an icon award to Jamie Foxx, Mariah Carey, Kirk Franklin, and who else? Child, I forgot. Hold on. Snoop Dogg. Ugh. Yeah, so it was a time, honey. Hope you got to enjoy it. If not, if you have time, I would suggest watching it. It was pretty good. And I like that it was very professional. Everyone, like, dress attire was on point. Everybody had on suits, was dressed up. It was funny. Glorilla won and SZA won. She was late because she wasn't there when she got her award, but she came later. And Kendrick, and I was cracking up when Kevin Hart gave Kendrick all his awards at one time. It was like, here goes some more. He was like, I can't even carry them all. He was like, not my problem. But it was good. You could tell that the teleprompters were too far away because everybody was struggling reading and they were kind of stuttering, So that was that. But I am here to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Welcome, besties. You are now behind the shade, and thanks for joining me. I recap your favorite reality shows weekly. Now let's kiki and haha and get into another episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 16, episode 15. Shall we get down to the last of the last? How many more episodes do we have before the reunion? The reunion will be a 3-part, I'm sure. It's episode 15. I would say we probably have 1 or 2 more episodes, but we'll see. I'll look into it. I should have done that before I got on, but it doesn't matter. We're here for it, right? Well, it's chapter 3, Rebirth. So, the last 3 episodes, they were in Grenada, and each week was a theme. And I don't even have all the things with me. I don't have it in front of me. But this week is Rebirth. Okay. So let's get into some news. Let me know what you thought about the title. Chapter 3 Rebirth. Okay, cool. How about you rate this week's episode, besties? Hey, me, I enjoyed it. These girls had a good time. They had a good time. Britt was able to go talk to Kelly and squash their little beef, and they just had a good time. I really, really enjoyed. We got to learn about Grenada, okay? But drop down in the comments, besties, and let me know what you thought about this week's episode. What you think about Britt? What you thought about Portia, Phaedra, Cynthia, Shamia, Kelly, Angela, Drew, Angela was kind of quiet this episode. But make sure you like the video. You know, we got to do our work. Make sure you like my video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel. And thank you and hello to all my new subscribers. I see you. And make sure your notification bell is on so that you know, so that you know each and every time I post my content. Okay, so did you guys hear this week? Portia is finally divorced, honey. It is finalized. It is over. Simon has been released from ICE. I believe he's headed to Nigeria. But Portia won, honey, and Simon is thinking about taking her back to court. She has been rewarded a $40,000 monthly alimony, only for about 14 to 15 months because they haven't been married that long. She gets to keep the Rolls Royce. She gets to keep the house. But in 2027, that's probably when her alimony will be done. She's going to have to refinance and buy Simon out of the house so she can keep it. So I tallied it up. $40,000 in about 15 months is about roughly $600,000. So she's almost made $1 million off of this marriage. Oh, check this part out, honey. And he has to pay her legal fees. Okay. Okay. Um, he wants to take her back to court because he says she was lying. Because in their prenup, it stated that she was never to return to the Real Housewives of Atlanta. That was their agreement. But it's like it wasn't a secret, Simon. She went on Watch What Happens Live and said she was coming back. Because remember, you guys, Andy was like, Portia Williams is coming back to the Housewives of Atlanta. And she said, no, Portia Gubadia is coming back to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, honey. Okay, so did I finish up with that? Let me see. Yep. Okay, so let's get into this week's episode, honey. So after the Shamia meltdown, the ladies got turned up at the pool, honey. They went outside. They was popping booties and bottles like they always do, honey. Because what does Shamia say? It is shot o'clock, honey. Kelly said it was giving Housewives Gone Wild. I'm like, I'm here for it, honey. Have fun. You're in a whole country, different country, on vacation. Have some fun, girls. So, child, Phaedra tells us she got Cynthia pregnant, or Cynthia got her pregnant, honey. They was bouncing them booties all over each other, honey, and they was all toe up and woe out and had a good time. So the next morning, Drew and Angela discussed, the night before, and so they say Britt was acting a little different. She was putting on. Remember, she was all Shamia, I'm your friend. No matter what, I got your back, girl. You call me, and I'm gonna be there for you because we're friends. Child. Britt and Drew said, round of applause, honey, because Britt was acting, honey. Drew said, honey, I thought I was the actress, but honey, Britt took center stage. And they realized that Britt and Kelly ain't as close as they used to be, because they're supposed to be best friends. So Shamia's in her room. She talks to her mom, trying to get the tea on what happened with her daughter, Shiloh. So her mom said, well, she went over there. She was walking down the hallway, and she could tell even the hallway was cold. So the baby's bedroom was freezing cold. She was in her baby bed. She was cold. She was shaking. There was no blanket wrapped around her. She didn't even have socks on. And it took an hour for her to warm up. That's how cold that baby was. But she did not have a fever. And thank God she did not end up in the hospital because, her husband Gerald said, if she's tripping and if she's not well the next day, he would take her in. So thank goodness, because normally, she has her, her few illnesses. And every time something happens, she always has to go to the hospital. So that's good that she didn't have to. Okay, so Phaedra goes to visit Cynthia and Portia, and they all sitting down because, they're the OGs. And, Phaedra's like, ooh, Angela gives me, school teacher vibes. Like she's a math teacher or something, honey. She give me Barbara Walter vibes with all those questions she be asking. I'm like, who sent you, Phaedra, to be here dissecting everybody? Just get in and get friendly with the people. Phaedra chimes in on Brit and the donations thing because she trying to figure out, she catching on to the tail end of things. So she just trying to figure out what's going on. So she said, everybody has a Rolls Royce, honey. She said, it's the African starter kit. You get a rose, you get a rose, you get a rose. She said the African starter kit is a Rolls Royce with a bust down and some Ferragamos. And so Cynthia like, what is a bust down? And they pretty much talking about jewelry. He got his wrist, he got, I'm guessing Rolls Royce and all kind of bracelets and diamonds everywhere. And the Ferragamos are high price, high end shoes. And so, honey, Phaedra tells us Atlanta is full of scammers. Honey, they call Atlanta Scamlanta. And Portia said, yes, all kind of scammers and scamalinas run around. And so Phaedra said it is trick or treat in Atlanta. And it's more tricks than treats, honey. So they say Britt keeps going and going. And she said last night she was just like a dog with a bone. And I'm like, y'all gonna stop calling everybody a dog, a lap dog. Y'all ain't got no other animals you could try. Can she be something else? Can she be a lizard, a giraffe? Can she be a possum? Why she gotta be a dog? She a dog, Kelly a dog, Shamia is a lap dog. Like, come on now. So Phaedra tells the ladies that Kelly didn't want Britt using her glam squad anymore. And I'm like, good, honey, because Paris had both of them dressed alike in Nashville. Y'all remember those white little outfits? Or was it tan or kind of sand color, those little outfits? They looked just alike. Then they ran the tape back. When they went out, they both had on pink, dressed alike. So yeah, y'all do need different. Nobody want to dress like twins. And yeah, you would think so. Let's change the I don't know, Paris, why are you dressing them alike? I mean, Kelly, do you need to change your glam squad? Because Paris, I don't know. I don't know what that was about. So Portia says that they are giving jealous vibes because that could be the only thing that's going on when two friends ain't clicking no more. What's going on? So Britt, and I agree. I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree with that, honey. I do. Britt goes to Kelly's room. They gonna talk and hash it out, right? So Kelly has to get ready to talk to her divorce attorney because they need to discuss. This is the final call before they, file, before it's finalized. They got to discuss custody of the kids, their assets, and property. Okay. Britt brings up Kelly letting Shamia rip her a new one about them donations. And I'm like, well, Britt says, Britt sees Kelly as a sister. So, she's kind of coming to her like, And so she tells Kelly, you're acting passive aggressive when you're around Shamia. I mean, what is the issue? I'm not a cheap bitch. Kelly says she thinks Shamia wanted her to show up more. And I'm sitting here like, didn't Shamia talk to her, took her out to dinner to Houston's off camera, is what they say. Now I don't even believe them. Because what don't you understand, Britt? That's why last week I was asking, what did Britt say in response to what Shamia was saying? Because now it seems like it's a lie. So, and I wish they would have, we didn't have a playback because they did it off camera. So Kelly reminds her that she told everyone at her event that she took her staff to Miami and she rewarded them with plastic surgery for all of their birthdays, And Kelly is like, where is that Brit at? Because who is this Brit? She tells her, be in your purpose and be the example, girl. Step your game up. Otherwise, step your game up. Britt tells her, just be yourself, Kelly. Like, just come along. Every time you come around, you don't need to be with your security and your glam squad. I feel like you're using them as a shield. Britt says Kelly is mad at her. She ain't told us that part yet. And I want to know, why is she mad at you, Britt? Kelly says she wants her entourage. She was like, girl, like, you want my glam squad? You want my security? Like, what's next? You want my doctor? You want my gynecologist? You want my nail tech next? Like, what do you want? And so I'm thinking that maybe Kelly just wanted to offer Britt her glam squad like for one time, maybe. But Britt is running with it. And yeah, because she even went behind Kelly's back and had a meeting with her glam squad. But all they did was ran back to Kelly, and then Kelly had to have a meeting with them. And Kelly probably said, leave her alone. And that's that on that. And that's why she's over there lapdogging for Shamia now and not with you, Britt. So who's jealous? So they both have a difference of opinions on sharing Kelly's glam squad, right? Britt tells Kelly to treat her like a friend. Why? She said, while you're building your friendship with Shamia, with the other ladies, just make sure I'm your bestie and let me know. Get ahead of things, and then there will be nothing to talk about. Okay, she right. Y'all, I done said this twice. I done said Brit. I've agreed with Brit twice, and I don't like this. So the ladies meet at the pool. Kelly and Shamia are matching, honey, in these tribal bathing suits. I'm like, ooh, when Brit see y'all together, she gonna be mad. Ooh, and maybe Portia might be mad too. Y'all better stop playing with these besties y'all got here. So Brittany's gonna be in her feelings about that, because she's supposed to be matching. I'm like, did Paris do this again? Paris, a child, Kelly, I think you need to change your stylist. Did Paris do this tribal bathing suit with you and Shamia? Or did y'all go out while you were on the island and bought this like at the gift store or whatever? So, because if not, honey, we need to switch Paris out, honey. And I saw Paris in the audience at the BET Awards, besties. I said, there you go. You know what? Back to the BET Awards real quick. The audience was deep with people. Like, I wish they would have took the camera and just went through just the first couple of rows to let us see. It was so many folks. I saw Nene and Tiana Taylor and Andre Pierre together. I saw so many people together. Everybody was there. It was taped in LA, huh? Yeah, I saw DeBrad and Judy. Everybody was there. Okay, so Shamia, Kelly, and Drew, they're at the pool while the other ladies, they're close by. So they want to make a pact not to fight anymore and have a true sisterhood. Then Kelly's friend Randall shows up. You remember him? She talked to him. He's he helped with the donations and all that. He kind of, coaching her with this trip. So his little fine self shows up. And I must say, Grenada do have some fine men. I'm like, I don't know. I might have to get the girls ready. We might have to go to Grenada next year. Let's see what's up. I got to figure out what year, what is it? Jab is, honey. I don't know if I want all that black oil on me, though. I guess I would. Ooh, okay. Child, so Randall shows up. If Phaedra wants to take him down, honey, she was like, oh, I'm a hugger. Child, she hugged him and wouldn't let him go. He was like, air, help, air, help, help. And honey, Phaedra talking about, he smells like heaven. I'm like, Phaedra, what does heaven smell like? Cotton candy and orange juice? Like, what does it smell like? So Brit shows up. She has on heels. Everybody just having a pool day. Why do you have heels on? Huh, interesting. Why, Britt? Why? So Randall explains that they will be celebrating Jab Jab that night. Now it's explained that Jab Jab normally starts at 5 o'clock in the morning the day before Carnival, but because they're in town, they're gonna do it at night. And baby, that whole town showed up, honey. So it's explained that Jab Jab. So this is how this went. The slave owners would call the slaves jabs, and that means devil. They got their nerves. So in order to celebrate their liberation and their freedom, honey, they covered themselves up in oil and they would beat down their oppressors. So, honey, they are ready to go. They got to kick it, honey. Tonight is the night, honey. So they cheers with Randall, and he walks off. And so when they cheers, Phaedra notices that Kelly has a deep throat. And I'm like, Phaedra is just, I would be so uncomfortable around her because she's just there looking and paying attention and noticing what everybody's doing. This is giving weird vibes. Like, Phaedra, will you just get into it and have some fun? Why are you paying attention to every girl? It's kind of giving stalker a little bit, envy maybe, a little lesbo energy. Nothing wrong, but it's giving that. It's giving, but it's giving maybe buy, because when Randall walked away, honey, he had a cold walk, honey. Portia said he walked like Denzel Washington. So he said goodbye. He walks away, and I was like, okay. He had a cold walk. Did y'all see his cold walk? And so before he leaves, here they go again. Phaedra's like, I'm a hugger. Don't forget. Give me a hug. Then, honey, Drew wanted a hug. And Cynthia was like, that's enough hugging. Shut up, auntie. Go over there and call Amsterdam, child. And so Kelly and Drew, they talk about, their divorce attorneys. And so they discovered, child, that they have the same wedding anniversary, August 21st. Okay. They were like, oh my goodness, how did that happen? But they didn't get married in the same year. From what I gathered, Kelly would have been married like 13 years at that time, and Drew was on year 9. And so in my family, besties, let me tell you a little something. So my grandmother had got married to my grandfather in August, and he passed away at a young age, right? And so my aunt got married to her first husband, didn't work out. I got married to my first husband August 16th. And then my cousin, she got married to her husband, who they're divorced. They got married August 14th, I believe. So we have something in our family where we say no one can get married in August because it just doesn't last. It doesn't end well. It ends in divorce or unalived. So I had a friend years ago, right? Let me tell you, this is real talk. They've been married, I would guess 20 years, maybe. No, more than 20 years. I have a friend who's been married more than 20 years. When they were getting married, she told me they were going to get married in August, right? So I told her that August was not a good month to get married in. So they changed their date to September the 8th. And I was like, oh no. She's like, what? I said, that's my ex-husband's birthday. My first husband. And so she was like, well, I can't change it no more because I already didn't change it because of you. September 8th, it is. And I said, and it is so. And I was there, honey. Yes. And guess what? They are still married. Yes, they are. And okay, so let's get back. Okay. So Portia's like, yeah, child, they in the same boat, child. Here go Phaedra, the two haters on the side. Phaedra over there talking about, well, and that boat sunk. Now, this the Phaedra I like. Child, this the Phaedra I like. Just have your little sly little comments, your little shade, honey. But all that keeping up and trying to figure women out, shut up, going behind their backs talking about them. No one asked you to do that. So Drew was like, what do you do on that date now that you're, divorcing or whatever? So Kelly says, for the last 3 years, she cries. on her wedding anniversary. So Drew said that this year would have been their 10th year, and they were supposed to have a vow renewal, but here we are getting a divorce, So so unfortunate. She says she still loves Ralph because she thought she was gonna be married to that man forever. And I'm like, well, yeah, that's usually how weddings work. Marriages work at the beginning. So Portia and Shamia leaves. They have a surprise for the ladies. They'll be right back. So Kelly also leaves because it's time for her to go call her attorney. And Barbara Walters asks Britt, "What's up? What's up?" You know who Barbara Walters is, Angela. Britt says, "Oh no, me and Kelly talked and we're good. Kelly told me to show up more. And I told her that, well, you haven't been showing up for me." Britt, Britt. So Portia and Shamia come back. Now, do you guys remember the beginning of the episode? Portia had this humongous old hat that looked like a hut. All you gotta do is put it on a pole, child, and you can lay up under it. So she went ahead and let Shamia model in that big old hat, and Shamia changed into one of Portia's black bathing suits, honey. And she came out in her heels looking good because that body is on whoo whoo banging. It's on bang bang, right? So they're taking pictures, letting her have her little model moment, her picture moment with the beautiful island in the background with the water, just to give her a little pick me up because of what she went through the night before. And I was like, okay, Portia, I am very, very proud of you, Portia P. Very proud of you, P Juice. So we find out, child, Shamia ended up getting her luggage, honey. I said, I guess the lady that worked at the airport probably got fired, honey. Child, that don't make no sense that luggage took all this time to get there. That wasn't no other flights going to Grenada. Well, child, the ladies are getting dressed. They all in they black with their combat boots and they Viking hats and outfits. Honey, they getting ready to go to Jab Jab, honey. So on the way there, Britt, Portia, Phaedra, and Kelly are in the van. And they just like, yeah, I like being needy. I be needy with my man. Oh my gosh. And so Phaedra was like, honey, just gift me and touch me. Those are her love languages, honey. Touch and gifts. Okay. Portia says she discovered that she got some new muscles down there, in between them legs, honey, that she didn't know she had. So the ladies are talking about how they like their toes being sucked and they feet and all that. And Phaedra's like, that is just a waste of sucking. They could be sucking on something more important than some toes. Child, the way she rolled her eyes. So they arrived to Jab Jab, honey, and it's a whole vibe. I don't think I saw one woman out there. All the men are there, oiled up, tongues out, child. It's a party. And the girls got right into it, honey. They whined it and loving on each other, honey. Woo, they taking shots. They get on the float truck, honey. The men are loving all of them because they got the booties out. And Phaedra got a booty. Portia got a booty. Shamia got a booty. But they're not gonna be on her. But yeah. So Phaedra says that, honey, she think that one guy that was pumping on all of them got them all pregnant. They are gonna be pregnant by the same man, child. Whew. And they said Portia is, honey, the Jab Jab queen, honey, because she was just throwing that booty everywhere. Booty, 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 booty everywhere. Booty everywhere. Booty everywhere. Throwing that big old booty just everywhere. So the next morning, child, they're packing. After they done got the oil all over the resort, they got them on the pillows, on the wall. They've been showering for hours trying to get that oil off of them. And child, they said Britt had to clean Portia and Phaedra, honey. They said Britt had them in the shower talking about open your leg, lift your leg up, open your booty, stretch your cheeks out. And she went on up in there and got them clean, honey. And Britt was like, ooh, they don't know how to clean themselves. I can't respect that. Or did she say, they don't know how to clean themselves? I can't respect that. I was like, child, Mia, when she show up next season, she gonna fit right in with these girls. Woo! They gonna really be pregnant by Mia because she loves all of that stuff, don't she, Jacqueline? So they had a good time. They, when you have a good time, besties, the next morning you just like, man, it was so much fun. I think I'm still drunk from last night. Did you see that dude? You're just sitting there just relishing in all the fun they had, right? So Kelly tells the ladies she's not ready to go home yet and deal with her reality. But she has to. So she tells them when she was on the phone with her attorney the day before, she started crying. And child, she said when she got up, her crystal had broken in half. So they was all like, what does that mean? What does that mean? She said, I had to Google it. Child, they said when the quartz breaks in half, that means it's the end of a relationship. Child, I was like, wow. So Portia P finally shows up with her late self, and she tells us that the trip was really good. She enjoyed the waterfall because when she came, her heart was heavy because she's going through a divorce. The three of them, Kelly, Portia, and Drew. So the waterfalls was good for her. The jab was good. Bonding with the girls was great. She was getting along with Drew. Hi. And so the ladies support Kelly because she wants to throw the quartz into the ocean. So they get up and go over the edge of the balcony and she throws it over. And so she says, this was the rebirth of their sisterhood and they all needed it, right? And so then there's a montage. 3 days later, when they're back in Atlanta, Kelly tells somebody that she's not divorced yet and that her husband went to jail that day. And then someone asked her, has she spoken to Britt? She said, I haven't spoken to Britt since the trip. Now, I don't know if that was in the same 3 days, but it's like, well, if you it's just been 3 days. Like, sometimes people need time to rest, get back, unpack, get things back in order, go grocery shopping, deal with the husband, the family, the business, it takes a while. She got the dog. So then the montage, we see Britt telling Portia that she, whoever the she is, showed her messages between Portia and someone. So that's gonna be some more drama. Don't know who they're talking about. Then Phaedra is in her car telling someone that a man told Angela that Charles is cheating. Child, I'm like, here we go, back to the BS. So with all this happening at the end of this episode, besties, we got what, 1 or 2, 3 little things to work out. I'm wondering, will it be 1 episode of an hour and a half, or will it just be 2 more episodes? Because I'm kind of finding it hard to wrap all this up in 1 episode and it be the season finale. Actually, I don't know, because normally when the season ends, it ends as someone throwing something. So I don't know. But honey, we will wait and see. We will see about what happens next week, right, besties? Well, that was the end of the episode, and that's the end of the review, honey. You let me know what you thought about what happened in this episode. What do you think is happening? Who is the she that Britt is talking about when she's talking to Portia? She showed me her messages between you two. Like who? Shamia? Maybe it's gonna be Shamia, and then that's how Shamia and Portia gonna fall out for the last time, because they're not cool in real life. And besties, if you're still listening, let me know how the sound quality, did my microphone do good? Because I've noticed that it's been kind of cutting out a little bit, and I think I fixed it. So I just want to make sure that we're all good. Is this microphone still cool? It's been like 9 months that I've been using it. Is it time for a new one? I'm hoping not, but I think I fixed it. So you let me know how the microphone sounds. Did I have any glitches? And I'll be back with another recap, besties. I'm believing it'll be Basketball Wives tomorrow. Bye, besties.